Amazing. Okay. Yeah, so let's get going. Should I do a voice?
I
What type
always
of
say,
voice should I do?
yes, you should. We should
Okay.
do really shitty British accents to honor Twickenham Vicarage, my murder mystery that you should all come see because I'm putting so much of my life force into these shows.
I was actually going to do a southern drawl because I'm going to have to do that pretty much all episode today. Thanks,
Love
Mansu.
it. Do it.
All right. Well, howdy, and welcome to Fae Finders. Oh god, I can't do it. This is going to be a fun episode. Well, hi there, and welcome to Fae Finders, a Dungeons & Dragons podcast navigating listeners into the vague and supernatural. My name is Kai, and I will be your dungeon master for campaign Amnesia. And with me, I have the amazing Amancio.
Howdy, partners.
And the joyous Jupiter.
Hello.
The kind Caitlin.
How about that?
And the stupendous Sam.
Well, how do you do there?
Now, let's see what we can remember. All right, so quick recap of last episode. So you guys all, after being rescued from the mountainside, were whisked away to the town of Newport Killam by a young wood elf, half wood elf, I should say, named Zariel. There you were introduced to Milia, her bodyguard, and she kind of helped fill in as much of the blanks as she could. After a long interrogation session, they bid you fair night, and you guys decided to go traversing around the town, take in some of the sights, and see what you could find out. While walking around, you started to notice that people were looking at Nia funny. And while getting some answers, you weren't quite getting the answers you were looking for, and continued on to the Star District, where you found yourself at the Temple of the Saint after Nia had asked for a little bit of guidance. There, a sister had given her some reassuring words that she just needed to follow the path that she knew she had already set out for herself. And the next day, you decided to try your luck at getting more answers, at which it was Milia who spoke up and basically admitted that she knew a lot more than she was saying. But you guys were on a tight schedule, as Zariel had promised to take you guys to the keep in Jalen Forest, and she whisked you off. There you traversed a bit until you found yourself standing in front of a very, very tall wooden built keep. And that is where we left you off. So, picking up from there, all around you is the sound of all kinds of birds. They call out and keep the silence at bay. And you can't help but notice that standing along the keep's walls, especially at what you would assume would be the doorway that opens up, there are quite a number of wood elf soldiers, bows drawn and arrows pointed and trained on each one of you. A man, or not a man, but a tall elf appears at the center of these archers and looks down at all of you. And for a moment, he kind of just watches you, Farron.
Now, this is hardly a welcome committee, if I may say so myself.
Yeah, I may have forgot to tell them we were coming, Zuriel says, as she, kind of looks around, extremely nervous.
Right.
Well, this is where you wanted to go, right? So, yeah, I brought you. Right, Milia? And, you can see that Milia is just shaking her head in disbelief at this. What are you guys doing?
I just call out, well, hello there.
You receive no answer back. The archers still have their bows drawn, and the man is still watching Farron.
Greetings, y'all. My name is Farron. I'm here to pay a visit with my sister.
You see the figure at the center kind of almost look over all of you, and he stops on Nia and then continues before going back to you and scowls. He lifts the hand up and then walks away. And all of the archers drop their bows and put their arrows back in their quivers.
Well, for a name I just learned a day ago, sure gets us into places. Shall we continue?
Yes, but let's put you in the front.
Right, that way I can get shot first. Makes sense.
Your name got them to stand down. I think the least you could do is take point.
Naturally.
Do you guys want us to come with you? Because I don't think I'm welcome here.
There's no way I'm going in there without my sister, who I just met a day ago. Come on.
Technically it was a week, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, but we both know I don't remember that.
Doesn't make it untrue, but sure. And she kind of pushes you ahead. So are you guys walking up to the gate?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to be either right beside or just behind Nia.
Okay, sounds good. As you make your way towards the gate, there's a loud crack. And then the large wooden doors start to slowly open. And they open just wide enough for your party to pass through single file. But out steps the wood elf that had stood at the middle of the the archer is up atop. And he kind of has his arms folded across his chest, and he's watching you with something mixed between displeasure and confusion. Farron.
I think that might be your father, Farron.
I think you might be right. How do you do, sir? My name's Farron, and these here are my compatriots, and,
I know who you are, boy.
You do?
What are you doing back here?
Well, you see, we woke up in a cave up there in the mountains, with no recollection as to anything that had happened to us in our lives, let alone our names. And I found out that that my father resides in this village, and that's about the long and short of it.
You see him kind of look between all of you again. And then he kind of turns as though hearing something that you guys don't quite pick up. And then turns back to you. One night. That's all I'm giving you.
Sorry, one night here?
One night here, and then you're on your way. You understand?
Not really. I don't understand why you would only allow us to stay for one night. I don't understand if there's particularly bad blood or ill intent between the two of us, or what the origin of said feelings would be, because, you see, I don't have my memories.
Well, ain't that just convenient for you, boy? But if you feel so inclined, you can ask around and find out exactly why it is. I'm quite surprised you'd show your face here again.
Well, love to learn more about myself, and it is actually quite inconvenient for me that I don't have my memories, because if I had them, I probably would not have come here if I knew this was the reception I was going to receive. So my apologies, but thank you, I suppose, for harboring me and my companions for just one night. I really do appreciate that deeply.
And he just steps aside. You guys going in?
Why, yes.
All right. Farron, you're leading the way?
Yep.
Okay. As you go to pass this tall wood elf, he grabs your arm and leans down. I don't know what you're trying to pull here, but you stay away from your mother. You understand?
I'm hearing you loud and clear, but I wouldn't know her if I saw her. What I'm trying to pull is a rabbit from a hat, and the rabbit is my memory and recollection of events in my life, and the hat is the world. So, thank you.
And he lets you go. As you walk in, it is not a keep that you would expect. When most people think of a keep, they kind of think more of like a war keep where there's a lot of like soldiers and everything is kind of dull and gray. This one, in heavy contrast, is actually very bright and vivid. There's all kinds of different flora of vibrant colors. Some glow, some kind of even have their own movement, despite there not really being much wind in order to give them it. You've got oranges, pinks, blues, vibrant forest greens of all types. And there's a lot of elven folk, mainly wood elves. But you do start to notice that there are elves that are similar to perhaps a wood elf, but not quite right. They've got a little bit different features. They fit in, but they don't. And as you walk through the keep, one of the archers kind of falls in line with you, Farron. And while he doesn't say a word, he kind of seems to be leading you somewhere. And you start to notice that there's not really any kind of houses per se, more so tree houses, as in the houses are built and carved out of the trees. And so there's a lot of like wooden bridges that connect the treetops, as well as different walkways. And at the center of it all, there is a massive, massive tree. And this tree extends pretty high, higher than any other tree surrounding. And there is a bit of a doorway at the bottom there that it looks like people who are on the ground level here can enter into in order to get to the higher levels of this tree kind of civilization, so to say.
Like a tree elevator.
Kind of, but they're stairs.
Mm.
So yeah, he's just kind of walking beside you, just kind of keeping an eye on things. He's not really saying anything. You can see he's, I wouldn't say tense, but weary.
Howdy. My name's Farron, and yours is?
He hesitates. Aster?
Aster.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure to make your connection.
Right.
Right. Aster, whereabouts are we going? Where can me and my friends stay for the night?
Don't you worry about that. It's all been sorted out. I'm supposed to show you there, so that's where we're headed. And you can see that he is visibly uncomfortable being in your guys' presence at the moment.
Well, please, by all means, lead the way. We're not from around here. Well, I mean, I might be from around here, but the rest of us aren't. Regardless, we don't know where we're going.
Oh. Okay. And he kind of takes a couple quicker steps to step in front of you guys and kind of take lead of the way. You can see he's a little confused as to why he's having to take you there. Like you can see he clearly figured that you knew where you were going. But nonetheless, he takes you into this massive tree and up what seems like a million flight of stairs. And when you guys get to the top, he takes a left and takes you across some hanging walkways and leads you around the west side of the keep. And you can see that as you pass by like all these kind of tree, I would say easiest way is tree houses, but the entrances to where these tree houses are situated, everybody's got kind of like a different setup to identify different things. So you see in front of one doorway, there's kind of like not really a jar, but like a glass bulb that's filled with these beautiful, like light blue glowing lights. And they don't really float, but they kind of move systematically as though they have like a specific pattern to follow. Another door has these kind of, they almost look like maybe carnivorous flowers, but they glow this bright orange. And they're speckled with yellows and pinks and a little bit of red that underlines the leaves. Another doorway has different kinds of foliage, as well as a couple different looking birds. One is like a bright purple with hints of black spotted throughout it, as well as streaks of what looks to be almost like a deep orange, and another bird which is much, much larger, almost the size of maybe like a toucan, is very darkly colored in dark browns and blacks, but has white stripes throughout the feathers. And as you kind of pass through all these doorways, people start to peek their heads out and notice and watch you go by. And a little short ways later, you guys get to a doorway, and there's not really any kind of special indicators outside the door other than some, simple fauna that kind of lines the doorway. Flora that lines the doorway. And he's like, yeah, here you go. I guess you're welcome to walk around, but, yeah. Dinner is in about 5 hours from now, I suppose. You could see if maybe someone's still got something for lunch. If you guys are hungry, I guess. I don't know.
Well, Aster, I greatly appreciate you bringing us here. Here, and I hand him a gold for his troubles.
He kind of looks at it, and you see him consider taking it, but then you see him kind of like recompose himself, and he's like, no, that's all right. And he quickly turns on his heel and heads back down the way you guys came.
Right, well, that's one more gold for me. Well, gang, do you reckon we drop our things off, get us some rooms, and then draft a plan of action?
I think that'd be a good idea.
Yes, I think that we should do that. As well as, since we're here, see what we can find out about you, Farron.
Well, that sounds like a right intimidating time to me, but, they say you should face your fears and all, so let's get our stuff away, and how's about we do that?
Perhaps they have some personal family records that we could obtain and see if there's any lineage that might interest you, or at least more background about your family and your current mother and father.
Yes, more information about the father that wants nothing to do with me. Fantastic.
Well, at least you might know why.
I do suppose you're right. Anyways, should we get ourselves a room? Or rooms?
Was it kind of like we pick a room that we passed, or is it like the room that we were dropped in front of is our room?
So the doorway that you were dropped in front of, that's kind of where you were expected to stay. If you guys go in and talk to the elf that is standing at the counter when you first come in, she kind of looks at you, and again, she's got the same qualities that would mark a wood elf, but they're kind of off. Like her hair is like that kind of beautiful auburn color, but it shifts in the light to like almost a kind of fire color. And her skin, while, warmly sun-kissed, again, it seems not as bright as it should. Her eyes, that beautiful deep green, almost seem too deep. So you get the sense that while she's trying to fit in, she doesn't quite. And she looks at all of you. Oh, you guys are here. Oh, well, I was not expecting you this soon, I suppose. Nonetheless, you are actually not staying here.
We're not.
No, Nalia has asked me to actually send you to her place.
Well, that's great. And your name is?
Oh, my name is Lai.
Lai? Well, hang on. Were you told about our raffle before we even got here?
Oh, yes. I was aware that you would be stopping by.
News seems to travel really fast here.
Oh, no, it wasn't that. Nalia was the one who actually arranged for you to come back home after you were finished.
Who, may I ask, is Nalia?
Nalia is Farron's mother.
What's Farron's father's name?
And you can see now she's like starting to become a little apprehensive of the obvious questions. Konak?
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that you know who you served.
Right. Anyways, you are welcome to stay here for the day, but I know that Nalia would prefer to see you later on tonight, maybe before dinner.
Yes, yeah. Now, it's been a while since I've been back here. Are you able to tell us how to get to Nalia's from here?
She cocks a brow and gives you a awkward smile. I suppose. Just give me a couple minutes and I'll show you the way myself.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Thank you so much, Lai.
Of course. And she kind of disappears through a doorway for a few minutes. And you can hear a little bit of rustling. It sounds like she's trying to find something that's kind of buried underneath, maybe books or clothing or cloth of some sort. And she comes back out and she is carrying a small book. She kind of tucks it under her arm. All right, then. Just this way. It's not far. And she kind of pushes past you guys and takes a step out onto the walkways and starts heading back down the way that you guys had come, but then takes a sharp right and starts heading into kind of the center of the trees here. Are you guys following?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your
Okay.
home is beautiful, Lai. I'm very pleased to be able to visit.
Oh, well, thank you. I know it used to be, well, it used to be a lot more than what this is. This is kind of what we were able to save.
And of course, you did such a lovely and magnificent job with your restorations.
I don't know if I would call them that, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Although it's not just me, it's all of us. We're still trying to figure out how to get back to some kind of normalcy after, and she kind of side glances at Farron and after what happened, and keeps going.
Right. The fire, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to look through my notes and I can't remember what the Deathbringer's name was. The, evil creature that, kills people that nobody can live to tell the tale.
Oh, the Night Stalker?
Ah, Night Stalker.
Yes.
Okay. Lai, do you ever have issues living so far into the forest with the creature called the Night Stalker?
The Night Stalker. Oh my. That's a name I haven't heard in a while. No, the Night Stalker is bound to the Fragmented Mountains. It would never dare venture up this far.
It's quite interesting. They seem to be having a lot of problems with it back in insert name I also forgot.
Newport Killam.
Newport Killam. They seem to be having quite a few issues with it right now in Newport Killam.
Well, I suppose that is the price to pay for living so close to the mountains.
I suppose so. I just wanted to make sure that you and yours were safe here.
We are. The forest around us does provide a great deal of protection.
That's good to know. We shall be sleeping safely tonight.
Indeed. And she takes another right-hand turn and kind of starts down. And she comes to a bit of a larger tree than the other ones you had kind of passed. And outside the door here is marked with a number of vibrant flowers, both small and large, as well as in a wide array of different colorations. Some of them glowing, some of them not. And she looks over at you, Farron. I cannot give you much advice. I know, well, I would pray that you had the best intentions, but your mother seems to think differently, so it might be a little bit of a different conversation with her. Nonetheless, she did set this all up for you. I would recommend you at least show her a little bit of respect for it.
Right. I really appreciate the heads up, Lai. Things. Well, let's just say that things with me aren't exactly how they used to be. But I really appreciate you looking out for me, looking out for us, really. Just let me know if there's anything that we can do for you at any point. But I suppose we better get in and see Nalia. Not nice to keep a mother waiting.
Of course. And she starts to head back, and you can kind of see her raise her hand as though to place it on your shoulder, and she stops and kind of hesitates.
Can I grab the hand while she has it out and then put it on my shoulder?
Okay.
Okay. And then I put my hand on hers. And then just hold that eye contact for a little bit and then leave.
You see her kind of watch you go for half a second. And then she shakes her head and goes back the way that she had brought you.
Farron, you've discovered a custom of how you say goodbye, or perhaps hello and goodbye.
I'm not entirely sure that was a custom. But, we can leave it at that. And let's go see my mother, who I know nothing about.
For sure. I believe that is a lovely custom, and we should implement that now to appreciate your culture. I'm going to put my hand on your shoulder really quick before we go.
Okay, I like awkwardly put my hand on your shoulder too, and I'm like not holding eye contact. I'm like kind of like looking away.
This is so sweet.
Farron, you can hear Milia laughing. And Zariel kind of pipes up and she's like, well, that was all touching and everything, but me and Milia, we're gonna wander. You enjoy your family reunion. And before like anyone can say anything, she just grabs Milia by the arm and just runs.
Bye.
All right, well, everyone ready to meet my mom?
Absolutely. We shall go and put our hands on her shoulders.
Maybe don't.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Very well, princess.
Just to be safe, I'd rather us not get, if it's not actually a custom.
I'm sorry. We can scratch all of that. I'm more stoic than that. I'm just in a silly, ridiculous, exhausted mood.
No, it's really funny.
No,
That's fair.
I guess we head into the...
like, oh, a custom.
Yeah, okay, we keep it. It was cute.
I thought it was fun.
I tried.
we head into the treehouse, I guess.
Yes,
All right.
in we go.
All right, so you guys head in, and the first thing you kind of notice is the room that you've kind of walked into almost resembles like a sitting room. There are some, easiest way to put it is couches. They're about as big as maybe a love seat, but they really only look that way as though meant to be comfy for one person. Not quite big enough to be for two, but big enough that, one person could nicely curl up inside of it. And they are made of plants. They're not actually furniture made of like cloth and materials. They're made of actual forest plants, the way that they have grown and kind of intertwined with each other. That being said, the little kind of coffee table is made of a beautiful kind of reddish wood, similar to potock, and a lot of the structure resembles that same kind of reddish wood as well. And just off to the side, you kind of see like a little cabinet with some fine china in it, and you hear a little bit of rustling in the further back a little bit, and this absolutely stunning elf steps out, and she's got beautiful golden hair that kind of shifts a strawberry color in the light, and while short, she is powerfully built. She's not petite in any way. She definitely has like the body of a warrior, someone who has trained with weapons, and continues to do so. She kind of looks at all of you with these bright, kind of hazel eyes that are almost gold. And she's like, Farron, you made it.
I did. These are...
Well, come. Just later. Don't worry about all of that. Just come. And she kind of leads you towards the back of this area. And you see just to the left of where she's kind of stopped, there's like a little bit of a doorway, and she opens the door, and there is a room that is situated with a decent sized bed, and it's very simply decorated with a small nightstand next to the bed, a bit of a dresser in the corner, as well as a bookshelf that is lined with actually quite a few books, the first books that you've seen since you guys woke up. And she's like, please, set all your stuff here. I can't imagine that it's comfortable carrying that all around.
Thank you so much for your hospitality.
Of course. There's so much to discuss, I believe.
And I kind of clear my throat and like look at everyone else. And then I look back to Nalia and I say, that there is indeed, but to start this off, I suppose will be best to say that I have recently, within the past 3 days, lost all of my memories. I just learned my name the other day, and I just learned that this is where I'm from. So, really, I'm starting with a fresh slate, and anything we discuss it's going to be the first time I've heard of, well, anything.
Oh, and you can see, like, she is visibly shocked. That might make things a little difficult. That is okay. We can work with that. I guess our conversation will just be a little bit longer than I had expected.
Right, and Father had said not to come see you.
Oh, don't worry about what that old jerk says.
Right, that's what I figured you'd say.
Please, all of you. I've got tea waiting if you guys want to join me. We can talk.
That would be lovely, but perhaps is this going to be a wine conversation? Or is it kind of not as intensive that tea is appropriate?
I suppose it would really depend. I don't know if I have any wine. I'd have to check. It's been so long.
No trouble at all then. Tea would be lovely. I just want to make sure we're all prepared and comfortable to find out whatever it is that everybody is so upset with Farron about.
Right. Yes, that is probably a good starting point. Let's all have a seat. I'll get the tea served, and we'll start there. Sound good?
I'm going to nod voraciously.
She kind of gives you all a weary look before turning and heading into what you can kind of see just slightly around the corner from where you guys are is a kitchen that is simply set up. And you can see her grab a couple of teacups as well as a kettle. Are you guys leaving your stuff in the bedroom that she had offered to you, or are you guys keeping it on you?
I'm gonna keep my sneaky thigh dagger attached at all times, but everything else will go in the bedroom.
Okay.
I'll throw my stuff in the room.
And as a sign of good faith, I will also leave my stuff in the room.
All right. Sounds good. So as she comes back out carrying a tray with all these cups and a teapot, she's like, well, follow me. It'll be a little more comfy down this way. And she kind of rounds the corner, and you can see stairs that actually go down. And she leads the way, each kind of portion of the inside of this tree is lit with those glass bulbs that are filled with that kind of soft blue light that kind of dances around in a very specific pattern. It is calming and also eerie at the same time. But you guys follow her down, and she leads you into what kind of looks more like a living room, something that is a little bit wider, a little bit more spread out, and something that has like actual furniture that you guys are used to seeing, like an actual couch made of like cloth and materials rather than out of the plants and leaves and branches the way that they had been woven up in the sitting room at the front. And she sets the platter down on the table and kind of readjusts the sleeves of her simple cream gown that she's wearing, and then starts passing out the teacups around. And please, have a seat.
A seat I do take.
As Nisha sits down on the couch, you kind of watch as she's sitting like right on the very edge, and her posture's almost a little too straight. She's not sure how to feel in this environment.
Oh gosh. So you don't remember anything at all?
Not in the slightest, I'm sorry to say.
Okay. Did not expect this to happen.
Neither did I.
We had quite the adventure under a mountain.
Yes. So I have heard. Farron, before I get into too many details, I feel like I owe you an apology. I am so sorry.
What
I know
for?
You don't. Yeah, I know you don't know, but it's something that I've been hoping to get off my chest for a long time, and I think once we start talking, it'll make a little more sense. And she kind of, shifts her skirts around her and takes a seat across from you. Grabs a cup herself and takes a small sip before kind of holding it in the palm of her hand. We're gonna start at the fire that you had set to the forest.
The fire that I had set?
Yes.
Are you saying that I'm the one that... I'm the reason the whole village burnt down?
That's what it looked like. Although I can't entirely say that I blame you. But yes, that is why... Well, you were banished from here. You were not allowed to step back. But here you are. So clearly that says a lot as to how much you have lost. Memory-wise, that is.
Yes, I can assure you that if I were banished from someplace on account of its total destruction, I would not be especially eager to return.
I can imagine. But that being said, I'm glad you came back, because it's very important that you did. I assume you all failed. Is that correct?
Failed to do what exactly?
And she kind of looks between you and then over to Nia and then back to you. Why don't we start with the legend of the Demon King?
If that's where you feel we should start, I really can't weigh in on this.
So, the legend says that long ago, there was a war between light and dark, and the light won, but not before it took fragments of itself and almost created new beings. And darkness did the same. There ended up being 4 fragments of light and 2 fragments of darkness, and they continued this war until the light won. There was a lot that happened following this, but the Demon King was sealed away by one of the fragments of light. The Demon King being a fragment of darkness. But because these fragments came from an entity, as best to say, a naturally occurring entity, it could not be destroyed, only sealed. And so every 1,000 years, it is said that the fragment of light calls someone in order to ensure that the seal remains in place on the Demon King. And she looks over at Nia. I assume if you're still here, child, that means that the Demon King has not been resealed.
I just got chills. Are you saying that I have to die to complete this mission?
I am saying that that is one way. It has been the main way. However, I have had Milia take a look into alternative options, and she has actually found that there may possibly be another way to not only seal away the Demon King, but actually destroy him.
Like, destroy him for good, so that no one else has to die to keep him in place.
That is correct. That is why I asked her to bring you back here. I'm hoping that this might be something that you guys can do. But it is not going to be easy.
I was speed writing notes. Can I just make sure I got this right? There was 4 darkness and 2 light fragments?
4 light.
Oh,
Yeah.
4 light, 2 dark. Okay.
4 light and 2 darkness. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, that said, perhaps maybe this is an option, or at least an opportunity to, I guess for lack of a better word, redeem yourself, Farron.
It sounds like I have a lot of redemption or atoning to do. I don't know what ever could have possessed me to do such thing. I had this dream. You see, this this vision, and I was haunted by the spirits of all these beings, these animals, these lives that were accusing me of destroying them. And I suppose now I can understand why, but I still don't know what could have brought me to do that.
I think your father and I had a bit of a part in that. I can't say that we were the greatest parents now that I look back on it. Perhaps it was a blessing and a curse.
I don't know what blessing there would be to find in the destruction of life, in the destruction of nature, in the destruction of the forest that provides so much to you, to us. I'm sorry, is all I can say, truly. And I don't even remember doing what I did, but clearly I did it. And I'm sorry.
I know, dear. And I forgave you a long time ago. It's been different without you here, to say the least. And I'm hoping that perhaps after all this is said and done, you will be able to return. But for now, you do have a mission. And if you cannot complete it soon, I fear that, well, I fear the worst is still yet to come. If the Night Stalker is one problem for the Newport Killam, imagine that for the rest of Mirdon.
Nalia, may I ask, what kind of research is Milia doing to ensure that Nia does not have to die? Because I am quite serious when I say I will not let that happen.
Milia used to be a record keeper before the Purge. So she had quite a bit of knowledge of the old. And I had her looking into what are called the celestial fragments, pieces left by the gods that could perhaps wield enough power in order to destroy the Demon King. It's not guaranteed. She can't find anything as to how powerful these fragments are, but she said that there is a good chance that they could end all of this.
Then we must make every effort.
Agreed. And I do know, well, Milia was able to find that out, where the first two are. One is actually here in the forest, and another resides in Jalen Castle.
Oh, that's very convenient. We are here, and we plan to go to Jalen after.
Yes, yeah, we do plan on visiting Jalen after. You know, no particular reason for that or anything, just, going as high as we can, of course.
Of course.
Do you know where this fragment is?
No, not entirely. The exact whereabouts are a little bit, how did Milia put it? Convoluted. only one worthy of holding it can actually find it. So it's up to, well, one of you to prove that you are worthy of holding one.
And how do you recommend we go about proving such a trait?
Unfortunately, I do not know the answer to that. That is something that I suppose would be decided by the fragment itself.
Sorry, how many fragments were there again?
4.
4. Okay.
But she only knows the location of 2.
Gotcha.
Well, it sounds to me like each one of us should possess a fragment of light if we seek to seal away the Demon King, once and for all.
I do suppose that's correct, especially because, well, we already have some inkling about fragmentation.
Right. Yeah, can't forget that.
Perhaps this is exactly what is supposed to happen.
I think you might be right, Millia.
Wait, what? I'm Celine.
It's Celine. Yeah. Millia is the bodyguard.
Right. Sorry, Celine.
Remember? Celine. Yeah, that.
Or weren't you
Yeah.
Lady, wasn't like your last name close? It's like Millette?
Oh,
Yeah,
Lady
yeah.
Millette. Oh,
Yes.
was that what you were saying? I thought you were saying
Yeah.
Millia.
No.
Oh,
I was
yes,
saying
you
Millette.
may
I
refer
knew
to
what
me as
you
Lady
meant.
Millette.
That makes more sense.
My bad. Yes, Lady Millette.
Well, I don't know how long I can offer you a place to stay, but you are more than welcome to take up residence here with me.
It's much appreciated. Would you rather I call you Nalia or call you Mother or Mom or...
Whatever you are most comfortable with.
I'm fresh out the oven. It's really up to you.
I'm used to Mom.
All right, Mom it is. You see, my father had said that we were really only permitted to stay one night in the village and that he would not be especially pleased if we stayed any longer. So,
Of course he would say that.
Perhaps
He still thinks that he runs the show here. I let him believe it. But
we do love a powerful woman. Perhaps we should take the opportunity to search around and get some idea of where this fragment might be hiding and attempt to prove our worth in holding it.
of course, yes. That, I believe, would probably be the best use of your time if you're only permitted one night. Whatever you need, please let me know and I will do my best to arrange it for you.
do you know anyone besides yourself that might have any inkling as to where this fragment could be in the forest? 'Cause it's a big forest.
The only other person who would know is Millia.
Right. And she's around here somewhere. She's out with Zariel for a day out on the town, so to speak.
Could you summon her?
I do not summon Millia.
Well, we can scour the treetops and the forest floor for her and accrue some dirty looks while we do so, I'm sure. Yeah.
We best get used to that. I feel as though you're not the only one with a past.
No, I suppose you're right. Mom, one more question.
Of course.
You know Leah? Leah who works down at the tavern? What was the nature of my relationship to her?
Leah.
Lie, dear.
Lie. Sorry, lie.
Oh, lie. That's...
Down at the tavern, she was the receptionist.
Sorry, just for clarification, you're talking about the lady who brought you here, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that was lie. She was kind of like the innkeeper, so to speak. Yeah.
I mean, I just assumed the inn was also a tavern. I assumed it was
was
like
it?
one operation.
Sure. It was
Great.
No,
Awesome.
I thought she was like like a receptionist at like a hotel.
No.
I mean, sort of.
far
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
No, she just kind of runs. It's kind of like a hostel.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Just having a debate
It's
on the profession of it.
It's for those that can't find their way home. It happens more than you think.
Oh, that'll be cute.
That's why running like a joint tavern in business is such a huge thing, because people get too drunk to go home, and like you can't drink and ride a horse. And
who
then
said
you
there
have
was
to
drinks?
stay-
Of course, you just
to stay
stay
at the
in the
inn,
inn,
and then they can charge a premium. Yeah.
Yeah, who says that they're high on drinks?
Oh, fair enough.
We have mushrooms in this
These
woods.
elves, they got mushrooms, they've got weeds, they've got all
Yeah,
sorts of
there's
things.
lots of plants around here. Come on.
Oh,
no.
no. You can eat and drink.
True, very Alice in Wonderland of you.
upstairs and party away.
A little bit of ayahuasca there, a little bit of mushrooms there, and a joint or two to finish it off.
Yeah.
So many natural things that you can put into your body and have psychoactive effects. Oh,
For
how
an extra
delightful.
fee, we'll carry you up the stairs to your room at the end of the night.
Yeah, Lie's actually jacked from carrying people up
for
the stairs to rooms.
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't know it by the robe she was wearing, but she's actually a warrior maiden.
100%.
That's why I'm asking the question.
Yeah.
Mom,
Making sure you don't get your-
what was the
don't get
nature
your
of me and Last relationship?
She used to babysit you.
Ah, I see. Okay, never mind then.
Cute.
Any more questions for me, dear?
But unless anyone else has them, I suppose we best just go find Milia.
I feel that's
Familiar,
probably
I
our
think.
best bet.
Yes, especially because we are now on a deadline, and also because Nia will not be dying anytime soon, if I can help it, and I can.
Nia's just has been just like staring at her hands ever since like the revelation that she might have to die, and it's just kind of like she's like, it's been like 24 hours and suddenly I'm a princess and I have to die.
Pretty much.
So
I'm
she-
just
yeah.
gonna notice. I'm gonna look over at you, and can I perceive your nervousness?
That's up to Jupiter.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that she looks nervous. It's just more like she's kind of like staring at her hands, just kind of like blankly.
Disassociating.
Yeah, just being like, what is happening?
Ooh. Can I perceive your disassociation?
I would say that if they know each other, yeah, you could probably tell that she's like in like panic mode a little bit.
If you want to roll an insight check, do it that way.
I'd love to, if I may. +5. That's 21.
Yeah, so you would definitely notice that something is a little off.
I'm going to take Nia's hands in my hands and just say, "Do not fret, princess. I will not let anything happen to you. All right? Right. You stay by my side, and I will protect you, no matter what.
She just like squeezes your hand and like nods, and then just goes back
Good.
to like staring at her lap.
Good. Now, let's go find Milia and get this fragment.
Okay, so you guys are all heading out.
Yes.
All right.
We're off
so
on a mission. We're tough and good condition. No fear.
No fear. One fear. No
One
fear.
fear.
One fear and
Yeah,
one
Maybe
alone.
just a little fear. A tiny,
half a fear.
tiny little
One
speck.
fear.
A pie
Losing
chart
me out.
quarter.
Just one. So we're only
Nisha
allowed
can't help
one
but
fear.
picture that bowl of blood when we came to consciousness. Just going like, is that what that was for?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Like a sacrifice.
yeah.
Oh, we were supposed to kill you in the bowl?
That's kind of
Blood
what
in the
I'm.
bowl, my blood?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Do we know that you're alive and not like undead?
Shit. This got existential.
I don't know.
Like that.
No.
I told you this was going to be a fun episode. Anyways.
Nia is alive.
Nisha can't just help but like watch Nia kind of like side eye, like, is that the case?
Do you want to roll an insight check to see if she's undead?
Can I clock this scrutiny?
I kind of want to, yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh my god.
19.
19. Okay. Is that with your modifier?
It was insight?
Yes.
I do not have my modifier yet.
Okay. So. Oh gosh, what is going on here? No, don't do this to me.
Look,
Uh-oh.
I don't know how many more revelations I can take.
Hold on.
I am
Pause.
panicking. I'm nervous.
For some reason, my character sheets are blank.
That's really not good.
No.
No, it is not. Oh gosh.
Do you have them saved, like, backed up, or are they just on, like, D&D Beyond?
No, they are like PDFs on my computer.
Oh.
Hold on. I think it's because it's opening up in Internet Explorer. There we go. Okay, yeah. It was opening up in Internet Explorer rather than in Adobe PDF. Okay.
Take it a second.
Panic
Whew,
and
we're good.
stress. It's not the best in this context.
Tangible stress.
Sorry. So insight for you, Nisha, would be a -2.
Oh.
Good.
So
So
17.
17.
Still pretty good. You are fairly confident that she is alive.
Yay.
Can I clock this scrutiny?
If you want to make a perception check.
I will. I do. I want to clock this scrutiny. Potentially. Then again, maybe not. No. That's a 9.
9. And is that with your modifier?
Yeah, it's only a +1.
Okay. I would say you're still more so paying attention to Nia than you are to anyone else. So you wouldn't quite catch. But you guys, I assume you guys are heading up to the bedroom first to recollect your things before you head out, or are you guys leaving them?
I
Collect my
actually-
things.
We're coming back here to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
No, we might need to make a hasty getaway. We should collect.
I think that might be our best course of action, only because with a reputation like setting fire to the village, I don't know how long we want to stay here for.
Mm-hmm. Well, and if we have to go outside the city gates to look for the fragment, we might not be able to get back in.
True.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All
Farron,
right.
are you collecting your things from the bedroom or are you leaving them there?
May as well just leave them there.
Okay.
Famous last words.
I'll be fine. I got
Everyone-
magic.
everyone
If
else
I
is
need to
collecting
cast
their
a spell, I
things.
can cast
Yeah.
a spell.
I need to be
just-
ready.
Just real quick, did you... Was that about the bowl of blood, was that just over table, or did, like, your character actually voice that out loud?
My character voiced that out loud, but not because she's a little bit more withdrawn. I think it would have been more like she kind of muttered it under her breath. So there's a chance you could hear it, but if you're having kind of an existential crisis moment, you might not have been not paying attention to it.
Yeah, and my perception check was very low, so we didn't hear anything.
Yeah. All right. So, you guys head back outside into the treetops. Where are you going?
Can I see if there's any magical component of my inner mind or lunar pulling to see if I can locate Milia?
Yeah, sure. We can do that.
Do we
make
have a locate person?
You do not, but you can certainly make an Arcana check.
Ooh, okay. I don't have my modifier for that yet. No, wait. Yes, I do, actually. It's +5.
Mm-hmm.
13 plus 5 is 18.
18. Okay. Sorry, right now you are currently on a new moon cycle, is that correct?
Let me check back. I know that I
No.
wrote it down.
You went on a full moon cycle because you got your pupils back.
Yes, I did.
I remember that. Okay. So you kind of focus in for a moment and kind of reach for that magical power inside of you. And concentrating on what you want it to do, you don't necessarily find what you're looking for. But you are kind of thinking, like it would be really great if we could find Milia. And so, like, kind of along those lines. And in your head, you hear back, we're just downstairs.
Oh, Melia, do I have message?
It's not message.
Is it send message? The letter one, the long one? The spell slot one, not the cantrip?
No.
Oh.
It is a racial ability.
Oh. Do I have infect minds because I'm a dream creature?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I have infect minds. It's not called that.
I don't
No,
know if it's
it's
called
not.
infect minds.
It is
You're able to telepathically communicate with other willing creatures or creatures you have already communicated with previously.
Oh, amazing. And that's just a thing that I can do all the time, not a moon cycle thing?
Correct.
Beautiful. Telepathy. Oh, guys, Milia's just downstairs.
How do you know?
I can speak to people in their minds.
Oh.
Which is I didn't know that I could do that, but now I do. Wait, Nia, let me speak to you in your mind. You have to be willing, I guess.
Okay.
Beautiful. I'm going to say through our minds, hello, Nia. I want you to know that I am going to make sure that you are always okay, always protected, and if you ever need anything, this link is always open. Talk to me privately whenever you need to.
Do I hear it in my head?
You hear it in your head, despite the fact that Soline's lips are not moving.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Yes, now try to make sure that we can both do it back and forth.
So I just say in my head, like, can you hear me? Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
Mark?
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
oh,
Yes, I can. Now, never hesitate, Princess. I am here to protect you. That is my sole purpose.
thank you.
Of course. Now you two, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. And then I'm going to look at Farron and say, let me into your mind.
I don't see why not. Go right ahead.
Perfect. Hello, Farron. I'm excited to traverse your homeland. We shall learn many more customs as we go.
That I'm sure we shall.
Perfect. Now, Nyasha.
She stares very intently back at you.
Will you let me into your mind?
Yes.
I promise not to abuse it. Only for absolute emergencies.
Better safe than sorry in our case.
True. And I'm going to say, hello. I hope you're doing well. Not too sure where we stand yet, but we'll be friends. I'm confident.
Lady Milliette, you are winning me over the more time we spend together.
Oh, that's lovely. I'm very glad. Perfect. Now that we're all psychically linked and have access to each other no matter what, because I will always be open to you, and you shall always be open to me, and if we ever need, I can share all of our information back and forth, especially if we're around individuals we don't want to have hearing our secret plans, because this seems a very sensitive mission. We best be off to see Milia.
I wonder then, just so we all have a signal, if there's something we would like to say to you, Lady Milliette, and there's a lot of background noise, should we, like, touch our temples and look at you, or have some sort of something that we can do in a large group to help you focus in on us?
Yes, I think so. Or even if it's quite a distracting situation, you can always come up and touch my arm or, yes, temple and look very directly and distinctly.
All right.
That's a very good plan.
To Milia, then.
Okay, so you guys are heading back down to the ground floor?
Yes.
All right. So easy enough to make your way back to the main tree that you guys ascended. It's pretty obvious. It stands out among everything. So you guys head back down that way and head back down the flights of stairs to the ground level where Milia and Zariel are waiting for you. Hi, guys!
Hello, Milia. I'm glad I can now enter your mind. Thank you for that.
Sure. What do you need?
Now, we need to know where this fragment is. I'm going to say in hushed tones.
I unfortunately do not know that. I just know it's around here.
Do you know how to find it?
I do not. From what I understand, it finds you.
I see. Perhaps, we should meditate out in the woods and use some magic to retrieve it, or see if it wants to come to us?
I'll interject quickly. Before we jump the gun, they just said the forest. Technically, this keep is still a part of the forest. Perhaps we meditate here first, and then work our way outside the gates just in case they don't let us back in.
I agree.
Very good plan. I think Farron, this might be your... I'm just assuming because there's 4 fragments, 4 of us, we're the champions of the fragments, that sort of thing. This is probably your fragment to obtain.
Right, that would most certainly make the most sense, although, of course, the forces of the universe do seem to work in ways that are quite mysterious and unknowable in the sense that they remove our memories from us. So really, I feel like it could be any one of us, but we can act under the assumption safely. I would say that this is my fragment.
Yes, it would make the most logical sense.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I could try to meditate on something or another and see where that takes me.
Milia, do you know if there's any most sacred places here? Is there a specific spot that they worshipped the old gods, or is there, like, some place that has the most magical association?
You can see her kind of think, and she kind of is like searching the ground. No, there hasn't been one for years. And if it were, it'd be Rarick. And I don't think Rarick is who you need to talk to.
We might need to try.
Well, I can at least show you where it used to be. And she looks over at Farron and takes a hold of your hand and starts leading you back towards the very back of the keep.
I follow.
All right. Are the rest of you coming along with?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. So you guys pass quite a bit of people who are going about their days. Some, are woodworking. Some are actually training. You can see there's quite a bit of females specifically who are training with either beautifully made swords or bows. You can see more so that any of the males who are training tend to train more towards the front of the keep, while the females train towards the back. But you are led past them. They don't really pay too much mind to you, although there are quite a few who do turn and look. And you eventually get to a large tree that looks to be not necessarily dead, but dying. And she takes you inside, and you can see at the along the back of the tree itself, like it's quite a large area, and it looks like it used to be a temple. It looks like there may have once been like bookshelves that were lined. They now lay empty and dusted. Pews that look like, they're starting to rot and fall apart. And as you look around, you do see at the back of this wall, carved into the tree itself, is what looks to be a symbol of some sort, or it had been the symbol of whatever deity Rarick, as Milia had pointed out, was. You look upon a large octagon with a very dark, almost pitch black shadow standing in the middle, ominously amongst a orange field. And despite the fact that the orange paint itself has started to fade, especially over the years of not seeing much care, it's very clear as to what the symbol originally used to be.
Can you spell that out a little bit? Because I don't know what the intent was. Is it human sacrifice?
No, just a very ominous dark figure standing in a field of orange.
Oh, like death and blood and fire. Oh, fire!
Or like a person
God.
standing in the middle of a fire, like a Farron
Obviously.
standing in the middle of a fire.
That's what I thought.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Who knows?
Farron standing in fire.
Sorry, go ahead.
Is that there supposed to be me?
No, although it was abandoned after the incident.
Right. The incident.
Not a lot of us talk about it. We just try to move on.
Can I try to do I have like plant growth or like any like revival things for nature that I could attempt to do here? I want to try and save the tree.
Not currently.
Okay. Farron, I was going to try and save the tree and let you have all the credit for it because then maybe you'd be able to have a little bit more favor with your father. But I don't have the proper spells to be able to do that in this current moon cycle.
I appreciate the effort, nevertheless, Celine. But I think that regrowing this tree is not exactly what we're here to do.
No, but it also might have helped with the fragment if it needs to be a sacred place that's full of life, because light and life is kind of synonymous, I suppose.
Good point. Can I try to meditate on this image?
Sure. What exactly are you doing?
I'm just trying to think and recall anything that I can from that fire that might have anything to do with the fragment of light. Anything that would have been involved in whatever possessed me to set the fire, in the process of setting the fire, of knowing where that fragment of light could be. And I'm sort of focusing on this image of the figure standing in the fire. Or standing in the orange, rather.
I'm going to say make a general intelligence check.
Okay. And is that a +0 for me?
+0. Yeah.
It's a 17.
17. Okay. So, you kind of step forward towards this symbol that's fading on the back wall of this tree, and you sit down and close your eyes and start to meditate, focusing in on the incident that everybody is so mad at you over, and everything that you've just learned. And you start to feel a small tug at your conscience. And for a moment, you see flashes of images come to mind. The fire surrounding you, the flames engulfing the greenery of the forest, as well as the wood homes that were once there. And instantly, this feeling of regret and disappointment and realization of what you have done just washes over you. But strangely, despite all that, there's still a small sense of relief, almost like triumph, that tends to hold under everything else that you know you should be feeling. And then you're running from the keep that you guys are in, but it's not quite the same. It's different, bigger, almost a different location, even from what you can tell, as these trees fly past you. And you can hear voices crying and screaming, calling for water that you're not sure if they ever found. An arrow whizzes by you, just barely scratching your shoulder, but you don't even feel it, and you're not even sure where it came from. You can hear the animals calling out. There's a torch in your hand, and as you run, you place it down and light everything in your path as you make your way through this forest that you've found yourself running through. You stop and turn for just a moment, and in that moment, you lock eyes with your father, who is standing atop this ablazed wall. And all you can see is just the disappointment and resentment in his eyes as he looks at you. And despite all that, you look at him with such a defiant smile across your face. You press on, and it's not until the keep is so far out of your sight that you finally stop. And the weight of it all brings you to your knees, and you just take a moment to breathe as tears run down your cheek. And the realization that maybe this wasn't what you wanted starts to sink in. It starts to eat away. And it feels like a panic attack has suddenly taken hold of your chest, making it extremely difficult to breathe, hard to intake any air. All around you, all you can hear is the animals as they try to escape, and the crackling of the fire as it engulfs the trees and the plants and the ground around you. And it's there that you decide that you have no choice but to keep going, but to keep running. And you're not sure how, but you find the strength to get back up on your feet. And you run. And you run. And then eventually, you find yourself standing at the stairs of a tall castle. And it is there where that gold and white palace looms overhead that you meet a young girl with golden hair and bright blue eyes. And she doesn't ask you what's wrong. She doesn't ask you what you've done. She just simply opens up her arms and gives you this big, bright, warm smile and simply asks you to be her friend. And that's where the dream ends. And the rest of you watching, it almost looks like as soon as Farron closes his eyes, he kind of slumps forward a bit. And Milia just kind of... She steps forward, but she doesn't touch him. She's just watching intently. And within a matter of seconds, he opens his eyes. And Farron, you're back.
Well, I think I know where it is that we need to go. Or at least I know how we get there. Kind of.
That sounds great.
I should probably grab my things, though, before we leave.
Farron, are you all right?
In my head, I saw the night that the fire was set. I ran to this golden palace, and there was this lady there who was herself. She looked like a being of light, and I think if we're going to find this fragment, she'd be the one who would be able to tell us where it is.
If you're certain, I will trust you.
I think it's the only lead we really have. Right. Let me just go up and see my mom, Nalia, and grab my things.
Would you like a private moment with her, or would you like us to join you?
I'm not certain that I'd be able to get much out of a private moment with her at time being, actually. So if you'd like to come with, I mean, it's a lot of stairs to get there. It's like you don't have to put in the effort if you don't want to, is what I'm saying.
Of course we will, Farron.
All right. Let's all of us head up there.
I'm gonna put my hand on your shoulder again.
I'll do the same. Still awkwardly. Still doesn't feel quite natural.
I've totally embraced this, and I'm just gonna do it now forever.
Farron, as you go to get up off the floor, you are a little stiff and you kind of stumble. Amelia just catches your elbow.
Ooh. Thanks, Amelia, and thank you for bringing us here. I'm sorry about the fire. I guess I should say that to everyone, but you know.
I think the fire is the least of the concern at the moment, considering all other things.
Right. Demon King and all that.
There will be time to make up for that after you take care of what needs to be done.
And let's get back to Nalia.
All right, so you guys are heading back up.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Farron, would you like to show me what you saw? Can it work that way? Is telepathy in just words, or is it in pictures as well?
It technically would work in pictures if Farron was willing to allow it that way.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Do I recognize the girl?
Yeah, she looks pretty familiar.
Does she?
She does.
Does she look like Nia?
A younger version with longer hair, yes.
I totally got that while you were like reading the description. And I would have recognized her because like I've known her since forever. Oh, Farron.
Yeah, what is it?
That's the next fragment that we must get. You ran all the way to I'm so bad with it. You ran all the way to Jalen.
So you're saying this castle in the woods that I'm trying to find is like the castle?
Yes, and the girl that you saw was a younger Nia.
Oh.
It's just leading us back to the same thing that Nia is the fragment that is supposed to save us. But we are going to find the fragment that's in this forest, so we can't leave yet, I think.
Right. There's more searching to be done, I suppose. I'm really glad you caught that, or else we would have just been wandering aimlessly in the woods. But now I'm not certain where it is that we have to go.
Where did you start the fire?
In the remnants of the old keep. There was
Perhaps
I dropped a torch, and
perhaps that would be the best place for us to start then.
is the current keep not built on the ruins of the old one, or is it built in a different location?
The current keep is built near the ruins of the old one, but it is not directly on top.
I think you might be right. That might be the best place for us to start, is the start of the fire, because what is fire if not light, I suppose?
It definitely is a source. And a source of power as well.
Mm.
Well, either way, we'll still need your things then.
Yeah, regardless.
To the keep after your things?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, you guys are heading back up to Nalia's?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You make your way back up. As you ascend the main tree there and get back onto the sky bridges. You see Connacht in front of you. What did I tell you, boy?
That we only had one night here.
Don't be smart with me. I told you to stay away from your mother.
Yes, well, you see, she ensured that Lai, the innkeeper, would tell us that we were to stay at Nalia's instead of at the inn. So, I don't know where you wanted us to stay, since the inn wouldn't take us and we had to stay at Nalia's instead. I mean, we could always stay with you, but I take it you really wouldn't want me there.
Well, at least there I'd be able to ensure that nothing happened. What have you been doing running around, causing more trouble?
You know me. I promise I've been being as respectful as could be. We went to go see the old tree, and I had a bit of a moment. It's really been nothing special.
Well, all right. I just want to make sure that you aren't causing any trouble for anyone else.
I think I've had my share of that for a lifetime.
We'll see if that holds true. Now, dinner is in about an hour. Are you joining?
Are we invited?
Everybody is invited. It is communal.
I kind of look to the others and see what they're thinking.
I think that would be delightful, and we appreciate your hospitality.
Well, all right then. I will see you downstairs in an hour.
See you in an hour.
And he just pushes past you and heads downstairs through the trees. And you guys make your way.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps you didn't much care for your father to begin with.
I couldn't tell you, really. I mean, it's not as though my mother would be an unbiased source of that kind of information, and I don't think my father would be entirely willing to lend it up. I do suppose we could always ask Lai, though.
She might be a good source of information for such a thing. I think we ought to still be conscious of trusting too freely. I think that we've been very lucky so far, but we might not always be.
Right, but I do understand what it is that you're getting at. But as far as a source of information on my relationship with my father, from a supposed unbiased source, I think Lai, well, it wouldn't hurt to ask her.
Of course.
All right, so I guess we head back to Nalia's, and I grab my stuff that I foolishly left on the floor.
All right,
We thought we were going back. It's okay.
You're going to Nalia's. All right. So you guys head back over. She's not there, but it is open. So you're easily able to slip in and grab your things. Are you looking around, or are you just grabbing your things and leaving?
I mean, I was just going to grab the things and leave, but...
Now that's an option.
Mm-hmm.
Loot!
We are not stealing anything from Baron's mother.
No, I'm not. I did not say that in character. Absolutely not. Celine would never.
What are you looking around?
The books. I would like to rifle through the books, please.
Okay, make an investigation check.
I will. +1. Don't think I saw anything of value. I only got a 10. But I can read the covers.
Yeah, like you kind of skim over the books that are on the shelf in the room here, and most of them are actually children's stories.
Oh, that's actually really sad. She missed her son so much.
Are you guys looking around anywhere else, or is that it?
Nisha would like to try to gauge the happy family vibe to see if there's any like painted family portraits or anything of the like hanging in the space.
Sure. Yeah, make an investigation check.
15?
15. No family portraits. No real indication that, like, nothing that stands out that says I have a son. Most of it is pretty bare. The only thing that really kind of gives it away is the children books, and there are like a couple small children's toys that are sitting on top of the dresser, but other than that, it's pretty much just a normal room.
Wait, can I specifically look to see if there's any like children's story on the Demon King? Like if there's like a story that like mirrors, you know, like a spooky kid's tale?
Sure. Make an investigation check.
Okay. Because I just got Resident Evil Village vibes from the storybook kind of thing. Like,
Okay.
perhaps. Perhaps not. It's just a 10 again. Never mind. No Resident Evil story time.
No. Unfortunately, there's nothing that stands out along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you have your stuff. Anything else?
Unrelated to the room, I just want to kind of focus in on like feelings of like light and warmth and be thinking of fragments and try to just see if I feel that pull that I felt when I was looking for the temple.
Sure. Make a religion check.
16. I don't have my modifier for that yet.
Religion is going to be 0.
So 16 then.
Oh.
16.
That's really interesting from a cleric.
All right. So you try to focus in on that feeling again, and you kind of get something, but it's far off. Like it's too far. It's extremely faint. You get the sense that wherever it is, it's not going to be within walking distance anytime soon. All right. So what are you guys doing?
I would like to go swing by the hostel and to see Lai before we go to dinner.
Sure. Easy enough. You guys can head back over. She is in the front room kind of organizing a few things. Oh, Farron, you're back. Hello.
Yeah, Lai, I am. Can I ask you a question real quick? And it requires a bit of a setup that might sound a tad far-fetched, if that's all right.
Okay.
So my friends and I we woke up the other day in a cave with no memories to speak of whatsoever, no recollection of our lives up until that point. And so, well, needless to say, today's been a lot for me to hear about, to learn about what this place is and what my past is and what I've done. I was wondering, since Nalia said you used to babysit for our family, if you could tell me my relationship with my father was like. Because it seems like we're on really quite terrible terms.
You can see she's holding back. It's almost like she wants to laugh, but she kind of stifles it. What relationship? You and your father have never seen eye to eye.
Right. Was it mostly Nalia then that raised me?
No, it was me.
Oh, right. Well, thank you, I guess.
No thanks necessary.
Well then, thank you for that. I suppose we'll see you at the dinner. Does everyone here eat together? Is it like a big long table type setup or
Something like that. I actually think you'd quite enjoy it.
I'm sure I will. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to trouble you. Don't
Not
want
at all.
to keep you from your work.
See you at dinner.
See you there.
And she goes back to kind of sorting out a few papers and things she has in her hands. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Campaign Amnesia. And remember, new episodes air every third Sunday of the month at noon. And be sure to check out our other adventures by searching Fayfinders wherever you tune into your podcasts. Until next time.